But Satan was an angel. After leaders failing to care, even the led do not care. His leadership determines what is right and what is wrong. We are basically working towards making sure that those who cannot speak for themselves have somebody to speak for them. If you don't have Ubuntu, you cannot oppose the government. They say a hungry man has hungry manners.
A very good afternoon. Thank you for always being part of the show and making a date with us. My name is Emma Nyangeri, and welcome to another exciting episode of the On Focus Show. You are watching MBC Africa, and I'm live at the FDC Katonga. And my guest today is an outspoken, long-serving member of the Forum for Democratic Change. He was elected as the flag bearer for the IALA, that is the East African Legislative Assembly. He also contested as a member of parliament in Kampala Central, and is also the Secretary General of the FDC Katonga. You remember, you can always be part of the show. Simply like, comment, share, hit that notification bell, and always follow us up for the updates. Ladies and gentlemen, he's joining me shortly after this.
Nice being with you.
Say hello to our viewers.
I want to take this opportunity to greet my fellow captives in this country. I want to thank you for whatever you're doing and keeping it tuned, because this kind of media houses is about using a lot of your data. It's my first time to be yes, yeah, but I want to feel it. Thank you.
Feel at home. This is MBC Africa, and hopefully we'll have you again.
I hope so. I pray.
How is FDC Katonga?
We are alive and kicking. We are on fire.
Okay.
We are moving around. We are speaking to people.
Yes.
We are awakening our people. We are gathering energy and doing out of consultations around the country. Because as you must be aware, this is the liberation base, and we are the end. We are at the end of the tunnel.
The liberation base.
Yes.
Okay.
The time to liberate this country is right now. So it's about that we try to mobilize all our people, all Ugandans who want a better country, to do the needful. Yes. So that is what we are doing right now.
Okay. Mr. Kaija, I want us to dive into something very interesting, and that is human. Yes. How best can you define human in your simple words as a politician?
No, for me, I think about the word human. I read with a word in psychology called empathy.
Empathy, exactly.
Being able to put yourself in the shoes of another, on their position, to know what they feel and feel for them.
Yes.
It is, would actually use a Bantu word called Ubuntu. Feeling sorry for people.
Humanity.
Not just humanity. Humanity is general, the human, yes. Feeling for people, feeling for others, having justice in your mind, caring for others, being, in whatever you're doing, think about equity, justice and equity. That is what I think about when I think about being humane.
Have you done some acts of human?
I don't know.
As a politician?
No, I don't know. Because as I told you, those are questions that must be addressed by those that I relate with. I would say I have, and then they say you've not. That depends on others, how they view me, how they feel what I do. Because you could be doing something good and Others feel you're doing something bad. You could be caring and somebody feels you have some other interests. You've heard it where people think in whatever people do, there is some other ultra motive.
Yes.
So that kind of judgment, I leave it to those that I relate with. But I also judge others. And I say so and so is human, has Ubuntu. But I believe in it. I don't know if I actually practicing it. I don't know. I think I do, but I don't know.
So you believe it's mainly of the works and it's the people to judge?
Yes,
such a person
like being rich. You cannot call yourself rich. You might think people are rich and people feel you're not rich. It's like being kind. You cannot say I'm kind. It is those that you profess kindness that call you kind. You cannot say I'm a loving person. It must be those that you love who feel your love who say, he's a loving man. He's a kind man. He's a caring man. He's a, you know, all those attributes, most of the attributes, you don't define yourself. You might say, I have a good character. Others say, no, you have a weird character. You could say, my attitude is good. And others are saying, you have a bad attitude. So in most cases, that is when people must refer to you. So if you went and interviewed people that I relate with, I'd be glad to watch and see how people view me.
How would you rate human in our country, Uganda?
No, that is what has died. Many people are not considerate. They don't care. Somebody would find you. He says you're having a serious call, grabs your phone and takes it. You've seen people stealing people's land. You have seen people sacrificing others. You have seen people with authority abusing power. The level of human rights abuse tells you the gravity or the level at which Ugandans are not humane. You have seen people using names of people and taking pictures of people to go and get aid from donors, which they eat. You've seen people falsifying documents, especially wills to take properties of the widows and the orphans. You know, if you went to see how the Ubuntu has sunk too low in this country, you'll get shocked. Now it is normal to be a thief in this country. It is normal to cheat because somebody wakes up today very broke in the morning. They tell your colleague is driving a V8. He has bought apartments. He has this, he has that. So I want to say that one of the victims of the Museveni junta has been the Ubuntu. After leaders failing to care, even the led do not care. You have seen somebody gets an accident. Instead of people helping the person, they vandalize the person. If you went to the mortuary, you never find...
This applies to all?
Yeah, you can't find an accident. You'll be shocked that we are thugs stationed to wait for this accident. Leave your phone in the taxi if you'll find it. You can't find those in shops how they deal with the measurements of weighing scales. You can't see tailors. You can't visit. Today, the other day, they were saying 58% of goods on the market are fake. But they come into the market and sold here. I have just seen in the papers that someone is selling dog's meat to people. And is telling them it's goat's meat. You've seen those who sell sheep, mutton, and they tell it's goat's meat. You have seen people falsifying results. People go to test for AIDS, and what happens there? Somebody just squeezes an eye, and they put negative. And then you think both you're fine when your part is not right, but a doctor has been part of it. You've heard stories of people going to hospital, a woman produces a child, and they say child is dead. A woman produces twins, a set of twins, and is given one. Said, no, you produced one child. So Uganda is a bleeding country, is that wherever you look at, you try to touch, you see people who are vampires, people who are greedy, people who are vultures, people who are scavengers.
What do you think has led to this? Why do you think we have these acts in the country? And what should be done?
Now, when you have a leadership that does not mind about the spirit of Ubuntu, eventually it goes down to the family. We are told of a story of a woman who was carrying a child to go and steal a bunch of matoke. When she went and they reached at the plantation, she started looking around. So the child told the mother, Mom, you've looked to the other side, looked to the other side, looked to the other side, but you've not looked up. So she did not come to her mind that the person on her back is a party.
Oh.
It's an individual. So leadership defines the mission of a country. Leadership defines or determines on how people behave and relate. Because leadership determines what is right and what is wrong. So when you legalize what is wrong, and then somebody who stole money for the AIDS patient.
When you say that they legalize what is wrong, we have the courts of law. When these people tried in the courts,
have you seen them being convicted?
Well, some of them.
No, don't speak as if you're an alien in this country. Those who are convicted is because they are not friendly to those in charge. What happened to those who stole the mabati of the Karamajongs?
Well, we saw,
is anybody in jail?
They're out now, but we saw some.
No,
of them
is anybody in jail? I'm asking, is anybody in jail? I want to check.
Not at the moment.
So if there is nobody in jail,
they were arrested.
Yes, if there is nobody in jail, and its leaders, who should have been custodians, who should have been shepherds of the weak, of the poor, are the ones who are grabbing from them. What happens to a child who is a prefect? In a primary school, a secondary school, and wants to become minister. So the rules of engagement at play have led what we are seeing. Today the competition in this country is who has a lot of money. The issue of integrity, the issue of honesty, and character are not issues. What matters in this country, they even have a saying, poverty is sickness. Money is everything. It doesn't matter how you get it, provided you have it. So, if you have such leaders who never hide, who will speak freely before the camera when they have grabbed, you'll find them in church and also being part of those contributing to the construction of the church, and they are seeking, they are getting blessings. What blessings are they getting?
You're pushing so much this into the government. What of those in opposition?
No, I've said leadership.
Leadership.
I've said leadership.
Okay, it comes from leadership.
It's a leadership. Leadership, even at family level.
Yes.
When people think money is the most important thing in life,
that's what happens.
That's what happens. We use a Swiss slang called kawedem. Because some of the husband said, what? So what? Today, if you want to be a leader, what determines is how much sacks of money you have. Not your level of integrity, your level of character, your level of honesty. Those are never yardsticks used to determine who should be a leader.
As a member of the Forum for the Democratic Change, which is the opposition party, of course, we need opposition in a country for the case of balance of power. What are some of the issues you've addressed, some of the issues you've raised to see that we check on that, the issue of humane?
You see, basically, you've attached it to just humane, but that can be seriously broad. In whatever you're doing, that is what we are addressing. When you're talking about corruption, we're talking about the monies made to construct hospitals, made to construct roads, made to construct schools, made to put medicine in hospitals, meant to create jobs, meant to give people security, meant to provide all the social goods in this country. I would mean that anybody that advocates for that is actually working towards having a justice society and having what brings a justice society is having the Ubuntu. And that's what it works for. Opposition manages the accountability committees, trying to get hold of the hands of those grabbing what doesn't belong to them. So that means we are basically working towards making sure that those who cannot speak for themselves have somebody to speak for them. Their share comes to them even when they don't raise their voices. Even awakening people, telling them of their responsibility to rise up and speak out and say no to domination and say no to oppression and say no to exploitation is all about creating or having Ubuntu. Otherwise, if you don't have Ubuntu, you cannot oppose the government. You would actually join them and sit on the dining. I'd go have my share. I don't mind about what happens to others.
We've seen crossing to the ruling party, should we say, that's what they lack, they miss.
No, that is what they lose. You see, Ubuntu is perishable. You could have been a good person this year. Tomorrow, till I become a bad person. And the society you stay in determines that. The environment.
But sometimes it's also okay to have disagreements, to disagree.
No,
we've seen, for example, your issue with FDC, how some of your colleagues, you know.
No, what I was telling you, Ubuntu perishes. Or it even appreciates. Somebody was a bad person, if you ban a good person. Saul becoming Paul. But Satan was an angel. Did you know that? So his Ubuntu, his human, collapsed and became what he is. You see, when somebody is hungry, you must have Ubuntu for some time. But eventually you say, No, I can't die when there's food right there. You're going to grab something. That's why a country like Italy, they even put up a law a few years ago that if you went to a supermarket and only stole what can make one person get satisfied, a half liter of milk, a cake, or a donut, an egg, a chapati, they don't call you a thief. You were hungry, you want to eat. But if they see you taking 5 and they know you're actually doing it for something else. The Baganda even have a saying that Narongo doesn't steal. Narongo is never called a thief. Because they thought that producing more than one child at a go is not a simple thing. And it is hard to look after them. That's why you see when people produce triplets, quadruple, you find people coming to help to give in. Because they say, as a person, I cannot manage these kids. So, when you take time and you have nothing in your wallet, you sleep today, you can still sleep tomorrow. On the 4th day, we may find you grabbing somebody's maize because you don't want to die. So some people along the way, as I told you, Ubuntu depreciate. They say a hungry man has hungry manners. If you went at a serving center, the line is too long. The person serving seems not to be bothered. Haven't you seen eventually people going in there to say, no, we can't allow this? They go and they say they've fallen in food because they are hungry. The person who came to at a function, who has had lunch and only came for appearance, may not even be bothered. Say, I don't mind. What I wanted was the bride and the groom to see my presence. But the one who said, no, I must have lunch at Nelson's wedding, that person must eat.
Yeah, true.
So when people fail to pay their bills, school fees or rent, they have loans, they have all that, and they cannot find a solution, and they don't see one coming, eventually they find themselves going to dine with the person who they believe does not espouse the values they stood for.
Yeah. How can leaders encourage a culture of kindness and respect in both public?
I would want to think is that that is something that must be inculcated from childhood.
From childhood.
Yes.
It goes back to the roots.
Yes, as you're building an education system, as you are building families, that must be in the DNA. That this is good, this is bad. If you don't do that and you want to think you're going to find people at the age of 25, 30, 40, and you think you're going to put them right, you could be a joker. You'd just be lucky, you could be a joker. So that is something that must be built from the bottom.
Has it nothing to do with the transition, with this era of social media and everything that?
Yes, of course. Social media is all over.
Now, for instance, you grew up in a time where there was no social media.
Yes, when we were in primary, there was no social media. When in second, there was no social media. When we were at university, it came. That's when Facebook came. Yeah. Facebook came, man, and eventually these started coming. But of course, if you went and visited each and everybody's social media, like Facebook, and scroll, because the people you follow determine the feeds you get. You know who is who. So where we came from, they are bad guys, my age. They are bad guys older than me. They are bad guys younger than me. So that may not be age. As I told you, is how you're raised up. The home where you were raised, what your parents taught you, the schools you went to determine who you are. In sociology, they say the community where you grow up, the people you grow up with. Actually, sociology says that every human being is born, his brain is like a plain sheet, white sheet, clean. They start from 0 or A. So if you are born with a brother and you're twins, one is put in Uganda, another one is put in the UK or some other country, or one is born here in Kampala, another one is born in the village, it says in the village, you can never have the same traits. You can never behave in the same way. Depending on the exposure, the kind of friends, even when you talk, you cannot even connect. So that one is my brother, but he's not your friend. He's talking about to go and cultivate, to go and hunt, to go and farm, to go and fish, to go in the forest, to go in the water, to go, to go and climb trees. For you are talking about having a sport bike, going to the beach, going to the sauna. All your kind of talks are different because of the kind of the social fabric that you do what you're exposed to.
And what steps do you think should be taken to promote more of this Ubuntu, like you call it, Ubuntu in the country?
The steps, I may not be an authority
or
in giving the steps of the chronology of events, but for me, what I know is if you want to build a character of people with high levels of integrity, who are honest, you must start from home. You leave home, you go to school. Somebody lives at schools at 23, 24. That inbuilt that person. If he's lucky and you have that breed, they go to work in an organization, that's how they think. Eventually, there'll be a different kind of breed. That's what I think.
Don't you think that as adults, there is no way you can handle them, it's too
You
late?
see,
they cannot be, they cannot be rectified and reformed?
I want to tell you, if you want to build a society, don't start with adults. The training of adults is prison.
They say every challenge has a solution.
I'm telling you, you're talking about Ubuntu. If somebody thinks, they will even tell you, do they eat Ubuntu? Haven't you heard them? Do they eat honesty? Does honesty bring food to my table? Does a good character feed my kids? Haven't you heard those questions? I know you have. Because say you give me money. You have gone to police. Every police, there's that word, bond is free. Is it free? No, I'm asking you.
That's a nice
first, first the camera. Tell the people. No, we're talking.
It's not free. That's
It's not free. You've gone where to places where they say corruption is not what? Corruption is a seed, corruption is what?
Yes.
But when you find wherever you find such posters or posting or terminologies,
There is a question mark.
it is there. Like whenever you say a country that has democracy as one of its name, no, there's dictatorship.
Really?
The Democratic People's Republic of China, Democratic Republic of Korea, that is what you call North Korea, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Wherever there is dictatorship, human beings are good at camouflaging. They know the right thing, They know what
hiding
sounds
something
well.
beyond the window display.
Exactly, yeah. Like you go and here, the shop calling itself cheap. Are their products cheap?
Cheap things are very expensive.
Yes. Someone tells you we are honest something. You the viewers know those words you say. We are honest this, we are the best in this, we are this. In most cases, what people say they are is not what they are.
They are precisely.
That's why for me, I will not go to to pay for a service anywhere because I've seen their billboard, their advert. I'll go to get a service from any place because of somebody has referred me to that place.
How do you address criticisms or challenges in your efforts to promote humane policies and practices?
It's something somebody is trained and you learn. Many people do not want to be criticized. Many people do not want to be criticized. Others want to be criticized, but not in public.
But all leaders are subject
Others,
to public
no, I'm
scrutiny.
telling you, no, I'm saying it's individual. The people, they tell you, if you criticize him in public, you have issues. There's another one who wants to be criticized by those who are senior to him. So if you want to criticize him, you must get somebody senior to him and tell him your issue so that it's addressed.
Yes.
So that even goes, who they call the inner man, you the person. That's why I told you, there's when somebody must define you. That is you, not another person. You might be a good person when you don't accommodate criticism. But you're a good person, very good person. But they make you restless when they say, no, this is, you feel you are very uncomfortable. There's a person who's like me, you criticize me, I have no problem. Even if you abuse me, because there's what people call criticism, when actually it's insult.
Insult, yeah.
You insult me, I'll look at you and move on. I look at you and then, okay, try to understand why you're doing what you're doing and let you go. There are another one who would say, you're really serious a fight. It's when somebody has a temper. When somebody has a bad attitude.
It depends on someone's
yes,
temper,
so there are things that are, the question you're talking about is different at different, to different people. And people's,
how they perceive it.
Yes, I know to them, that's why I tell you, you must always first profile someone, understand the person. Ask you, does that person get annoyed? Does he smile? Does he joke? Because there are people who don't joke. Very good people, they don't joke, he's not a joker. He is a very serious person. He joke, he never think that you're joking. He takes offense. So you must understand as even you engaging them. They say that if you despise red ants, you don't sit in them. You don't sit in them. You really have issues with them. Even if a dog is your friend, don't step on his tail. I have my dog Lucky. I don't step on his tail. It will bite you, and then you call it bad. So the excesses. So you must, as you're dealing with the people, you must understand them.
True.
So what you want them to do, but also play your cards right. They say, who wants justice comes with clean hands. You don't want to be treated well, and you're punching the person. Let me see if he has Ubuntu. Now Ubuntu also tells me I should treat you the way you treated me. This thing what Jesus said, when they punch you this side, you put this. Not that may not. He's a good person, may not.
Does it apply for? Thank you so much for sharing with us.
You're welcome.
Just before we wrap up, do you have a take back home or a word of inspiration to our viewers from home?
Actually, Ubuntu, it's called Ubuntu Bulamu. Yes. But Ubuntu, Ubuntu, because we the Bantu from Nigeria to South Africa, that word means the same, Ubuntu. So now, like in Uganda, we add Ubuntu Bulamu. how you relate with others, you treat them, and you treat them the way you want to be treated.
Yes.
That's why I use the word empathy. So if you want to be treated well, treat others well.
Exactly.
I saw Colonel Muammar Gaddafi when a boy who he killed his father found him in a culvert, hiding. Please, was asking, please, but he said, you killed my father. You killed my father. He looked at the boy killed my father. I was told when Idi Amin was in Saudi Arabia in Riyadh, in a hospital, fighting for his life, one of the doctors who was brought to attend to him was an Indian. She went and whispered to him, I am one of the Indians that you chased from Uganda. I want you to imagine if you're Idi Amin, very sick. The people that you sent away and left all their properties behind, now is the one who determines that you must live or die.
Such a small world. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing with us.
Welcome.
Anything at Katonga, what are we looking forward to as FDC Katonga?
Next time they know. Next time they know. We are pushing.
You're cooking something.
They will see. We're in the field. We are going to Hoima. We are going to Masindi, first, second. We are going to Lira, third. We are going to Gulu on the 4th. We are going to Kitgum on the 5th. We have a National Delegates Conference on the 15th of May.
Okay.
So we are moving.
There's a lot.
There's a lot on our table.
Okay. All right.
Happy to be here with you guys. Bye.
Thank you so much for coming through. Mr. Kaija Harold, the Secretary General of the FDC Katonga, was our guest today, and I think you've heard what he has shared with us. He's a very interesting man and an outspoken member of the Forum for the Democratic Change, that is the FDC. I think you've picked up something, if we should bring this guest, to learn from them, and also to spread the words that we share. We have to practice what we preach. Have that Ubuntu, the humanity, have that human face, and it should start from home. Like he shared, it should start. It goes back to the grassroots from our homesteads. My name is Emu Mnyangeri, and thank you so much for being part of the show. You're watching the On Focus. This is MBC Africa. Remember to always subscribe on our YouTube channel, follow us up, like, comment, share. We always have different people to share with you all the aspects of life. Until we meet again, bye-bye.